Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm in the chair. What does it mean? It's Joyce time. She's sad. Never mind. I enjoy myself. Got one really sticking out there. I think we ought to choose that one, don't you? It's obviously saying, take me, read me. This is in, should you want to find it in your own Joyce Bible, on page 866. And it is Psalm 40, ... 2. And it is called Pray and Obey. It's a long one. Now you'll have to forgive me if I start getting my words all mixed up, because these are big ones. I should do my best. Shall we see what this one's about? God really wants us to hear and obey him. And according to Psalm 40, 40.6, he has given us the capacity to do so. In fact, God delights in the atmosphere of our obedience. Naturally, it does not do God any good to talk to us if we are not going to listen and obey. Joyce speaking. For many years I wanted God to talk to me, but I wanted to pick and choose what to obey. Like many others, I had selective hearing. I wanted to do what God said to do if I thought it was a good idea. If I didn't want to submit to what I was hearing, I could easily choose to think it was not from God. God has given us a capacity both to hear him and obey him, and obedience is the greatest sacrifice we can make to him. Some of what God says will be exciting. Other things may not be so thrilling to hear, but you can still be assured that what God tells you will work out for good if you would just do it his way. If God convicts you that you were rude to someone and instructs you to apologise, it is pointless to answer back. As we would. Well, that person was rude to me. If you talk back with excuses, you may have prayed and even heard, but you have not obeyed. Instead, go apologise. Say to that person, I was rude to you and I'm sorry. Now you've obeyed. Now God's anointing can flow through you and through your life because you are obedient. Joyce speaking. I was moved by a story about a message given at a pastor's conference by a pastor of a very large church. Hundreds of pastors had gathered from all over the nation to hear this man tell what he did to build his church. He told them simply, I pray and I obey. I pray and I obey. One of the ministers who attended this meeting expressed to me his disappointment in the pastor's message. He said, I spent all this money and came all this distance to hear this world-renowned leader tell me how his ministry grew to the point that it has. For 3 hours, in various ways, he said the same thing. I pray, I obey. I pray, I obey. I pray, I obey. I pray, I obey. I kept thinking, surely there is something else. Joyce speaking. Looking back over nearly 3 decades of walking with God, I would have to agree that if I put into words the simplest explanation for all the success we have had at Joyce Meyer Ministries, we too have learned to pray, hear from God, and then do what God tells us to do. Over the years, I have been seeking God about the call on my life and pressing forward in what I feel he has told me to do. The essence of it all is that I have prayed and I have obeyed. My obedience has not always been popular with everyone else, but to the best of my ability, I have prayed, I have obeyed, and it has worked. God's plan is not hard. We make it hard. Like everyone else, I've made mistakes, but I have learned from them and have pressed on. Failing does not make you a failure. A person is a failure only if he gives up and refuses to try any longer. If you want God's will for your life, I can give you the directions in the simplest form. You know what's coming? Pray and obey. God has given you the capacity to do both. That was a big one, wasn't it? But a very meaningful one. I think we get the message now that we have to pray and obey. Yeah? To pray, listen, wait for what's coming back, and then do what we're told to do. That's all he asks. We might not like it all the time, but, you know, he does it for our best. And you have to, that was the old trust bit, wasn't it? You have to trust that we're doing this for our own best. So I shall say. Hope you're enjoying these. Do give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe. We always need more subscribers, don't we? It's always fun. And you stay safe and you take care. And it's bye-bye for now.